What's up, Dragon Brood? Welcome to another installment of Kaldheim preview reviews, or whatever it is we're calling these. Anyway, this is number 7. Today is Monday, January 11. And before we get in, I gotta tell y'all, if y'all haven't checked them out yet, check out the new sweet deck boxes and sleeves we've got from Ultra Pro. Partly because one, we're actually getting to a point where people are getting vaccinated, and maybe soon we'll be back able to go to stores. But the other is, they're big supporters of your local game store. So if there's anything you want, check out the link to their shop down below. If you see an item that's cool, call your local game store, send them an email, send them a message, and say like, hey, can you order this for me? You'd be supporting me and Ultra Pro, and then you're helping your local store out too. So just want to put that out there. And if you haven't, please remember to like this video to help more people see it. Hit the subscribe button to help us reach our 10,000 subscribers. We are so close. We're just around 300 left to go. So please help us out there. Otherwise, let's go talk about some Kaldheim stuff. Okay, so today's going to be a little bit different because I'm looking at a lot of these cards for the first time myself. I've been trying to keep up with stuff that's coming out, but there was quite a few today. And had the issue of some different places I used weren't updating properly, and they had some web issues. So this is what we're going with. So bear with me. I'm going to try to give you still honest and quick opinions as fast as I can. So Herald, though, really, okay, this name, are we just going to call him Herald? Because they sort of feel like that's what's going to happen. But anyway, Herald, King of Skemfar, is a colorless, black, green, legendary creature, warrior, elf, 3/2, has menace. There's a lot going on already for 3 mana. When Herald, King of Skemfar, enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an elf, warrior, or Tyvar card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay, so Tyvar, if I remember right, is the green planeswalker for elves. So that makes sense. You can also get a random warrior. That's cool. This has menace, so it may fit into a menace-based deck. It's a 3/2 for 3, which I like. It's just value, right? It's 3 mana, 3/2. Go find another elf or warrior or possibly your planeswalker. I'm good with this. I don't think it's like game breaking in any way, but I think it's a good playable card. Ah, man, you know what? Jorn, God of Winter, 2 colorless, green, legendary snow creature god, rare 3/3. When Jorn attacks, untap each snow permanent you control. F this card and the horse it rode in on. Like, here's the thing. Like, I'm never a fan of these. Never a fan. I don't like, it's just another thing that untaps stuff. It encourages you to play more snow stuff. So it's just making snow lands infinitely better than basic lands. And so maybe there's a thing to punish people, or at least target things that are snow, or something protection from snow or whatever, but I'm still waiting to see that card until then. But otherwise, yeah, this actually is a good card. I mean, if you're into snow stuff, you're definitely going to play it. And that's not even counting its back half, which is Kaldheim, the Rhyme Staff, colorless, blue, black, legendary snow artifact. No surprise, you may play target snow permanent card from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters the battlefield tapped. So just free recursion for snow things. Tap it and you get to cast it. So that's kind of cool. And actually doesn't even say cast. It actually says play. So you could actually get lands back out of the yard if maybe they were milled there or something in the meantime. So all around, damn good card. Calder's Vicious Return. 2 colorless, black, red, saga. Chapter 1, you may sacrifice creature. When you do, this card deals 3 damage to any target. Chapter 2, each player discards a card. Chapter 3, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn. And it's an uncommon. This card's going to see some play, y'all. I mean, here's the thing, right? If there's a situation where you think you're going to lose your creatures anyway the next turn, you can sacrifice it, deal 3. You may be playing something that makes tokens or whatnot, like, say, Woe Strider the turn before. You play this, sack the goat token, deal 3 damage. Then both players discard a card. That may already be part of your theme. If not, you may just need cards in the graveyard. And then you can just set something up by putting something in the graveyard. You're just going to get back anyway with the +1/+1 counter and have it have haste. So there's a lot of things happening here. I'm digging this. I like, this is just a good, solid, playable card. I don't think you just throw it in any black-red deck, but if you build, there's a couple of different themes I would see you could build your deck around where this would actually be a good card to include. All right, it looks like there's a couple we don't have regular artwork for, but hey, here's the cool, like, not work art. So this is Furja, Judge of Valor. 2 colorless, white, black, black, Angel Cleric. 2/4 legendary creature, flying, lifelink. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, the rest into your graveyard. I feel like we looked at this one before. Maybe we didn't. I don't remember. But either way, card seems decent. If you're built around it, go ahead and play it. If you have a way to get stuff out of the graveyard, it's going to be fine. If you're just playing straight up angels or aggro angels, not sure this one's going to make the cut. Esika, God of the Tree, colorless, green, green, legendary creature, God, 1/4. Vigilance, add 1 mana of any color. That's cool. Other legendary creatures you control have Vigilance and add 1 mana of any color. And if I'm not mistaken, this was the god that owned the Cat Chariot, so there's that connection. The card itself is fine. I think if you're playing a god-heavy deck, it can be really good. But it does have a backside, so let's take a look at that. The Prismatic Bridge. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal a card from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker. Put that card onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So if you can tap for any color, and then you draw a second one, you can cast this, and then just be searching for creatures and planeswalkers. That's pretty good. I mean, this is pretty much just automatic search. I mean, yeah, it's revealed till you get to one, so it's not even search. You're definitely gonna get one. This is pretty cool. This is a strong card. It takes a little work to get it, so I don't mind that. But if it sticks, wow, this is gonna be tough. Turgrid, God of Fright, 3 colorless, black, black, rare, 4/5, legendary creature, God, menace. When an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That's pretty damn good. I mean, if you're playing discard stuff, your opponent discards things, you may get it. It's a 4/5 for 5, so it's not like it's small. If you find a way to kill opponent's creature, you'll end up getting that, or just a permanent actually if they sacrifice it. So you can't kill it. You have to get them to sacrifice it, but still, there's a lot of things that can do that. Yeah, this card has a lot happening. Like, this is a scary card in a way. I don't know how much late game value it has, but it's pretty dang good. But that's not even everything. It too has a backside, which is Turgrids Lantern. 3 colorless, black, obviously a rare because it's the other side of it, legendary artifact. Tap, target player loses 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. 3 colors and a black, untapped Turgrids Lantern. We're going to end up hating this card at some point. Now, here's the thing, though. Like, early game, you can just play the front side. The scary thing is if you play... This is one of those double-face god cards that you might actually play a full set of. Because if you manage to get the backside and then the front side, like, you're just getting a bunch of stuff from your opponent for effectively 8 mana a turn. You can just keep them off of things, or they're just going to be losing life. So this is really, really cool. Even at just 4 mana... being able to get 2 activations is already outstanding, and you start stripping your opponent's board or draining their life. Like, this is strong. I dig this. I don't know if it's overpowered or anything, or, you know, you just have to prioritize killing Turgrid himself. Maybe, I don't know. But, yeah, this is definitely going to cause some situations. All right, Morite of the Frost. 2 colorless, green, blue, blue. 5 mana. Legendary snow creature, shapeshifter, uncommon, 0/0. It's a changeling. You may have Morite of the Forest enter the battlefield as a copy of a permanent you control, except it's now legendary and snow, in addition to its other types. If it's a creature, it enters with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it and has changeling. So yeah, this card's kind of wild. One, you can just copy a permanent, but it has to be a permanent you control, so there is that. It's not just, you know, copy anything. So there's a little bit of a balancing factor to that. It also lets you copy creatures and be bigger, so you put 2 additional counters on it. And it's also a changeling, so it counts for all different creature types. I don't know if this is good or not. Like, it feels like it can be. You know, if there's like some type of, I don't know, combo-y thing you're aiming for. But it does let you copy a permanent, so that's pretty cool, right? Like, if you were able to play this in something where there's a key enchantment or key artifact you want to copy, like, this can do that. Or if you just need to copy something and have a second blocker, an even bigger blocker or some such, you can do that too. So pretty versatile card. It is 5 mana, so I don't know. Like, I think that's going to be a restricting factor on it here. But it's at least entertaining, useful, and I'm sure people will find awesome uses for this in limited play. Kovari, God of Kinship, 2 colorless, green green, legendary creature god, rare, 2/4. As long as you control 3 or more legendary creatures, Kovari gets +4/+2 and has vigilance. So it could be up to a 6/6 vigilance if you control 3 or more legendary creatures, not permanents, but creatures. You can also pay a colorless and a green, tap, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a legendary creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest in your bottom of your library in a random order. Okay, that's fine. I mean, this sort of is a piece for building the god-heavy deck, right? Like, I think that's what we're doing here. You have the ability to have a big creature if you have multiple legendary creatures out, which the gods all are. You can search your library to find a legendary creature, which the gods all are. So I see what we're doing here. It is possible maybe you just build something with like just green or elves or something that's using a lot of legendary creatures. But my guess is, at least for standard, we're probably going to be doing that with the gods. But does have a backside, so let's look at that. And it's Ringheart Crest. Colorless and a green. As the Ringheart Crest enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Add 1 green, spend that mana only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type or a legendary creature spell. So again, this kind of fits there perfectly, right? You just play the backside as a mana artifact that taps and gives you mana to play all these legendary things. So lots of things coming together. If you can already start seeing the pieces for this legendary creature god themed deck, which is probably going to be one of the more popular decks early on, just from people experimenting or brewing. I'm not going to say it's necessarily going to be good, because I don't think we're going to figure out the right combinations of cards to play in these decks just yet, but there is something there for sure. You can see all the pieces already. Tybalt's Trickery, 1 colorless, red, instant, rare, counter target spell. Okay, that's cool. Just a red counter spell. Normally we don't get that in red. There's usually some like, well, there is a lot of text here, so maybe there's a condition. All right, so choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. All right, so die roll 1, 2, or 3. Its controller mills that many cards. So you get a counterspell and a mill. So far, so good. Then exile cards from the top of the library, or top of their library, until they exile a non-land card with a different name than that spell, being the one that you targeted to counter. They may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then they put the exiled card on the bottom of the library in a random order. There's a lot here. You know, this card has a lot to unpack. All right, so first you can target to copy anything, which is pretty sweet. It is kind of wild that it exiles cards from the top of the library. It doesn't just put them in the... Okay, then it says put the exile cards in the bottom of the library anyway. Okay, never mind. So they don't lose the cards. So yeah, so you're basically targeting a thing. They randomly mill 1, 2, or 3. And then they flip cards until they get a non-land card that's not the same name, and then they can just play it. So it's a risky counter. The thing is, you can also use it on your own stuff. So let's say you're playing some crazy deck full of, I don't know, what's like the rats deck that we play, right? You're just playing a bunch of the rats. It's possible you could load your deck with rats and some big thing, whatever you want big thing to be. And this would let you increase the odds of you getting the big thing. So that's the thing. You could cast like a rat, copy your rat, mill however many cards, flip cards until you get to the non-rat, and then I don't know whatever happens after that. Right? So like I hadn't thought that far ahead. This is literally just spur of the moment thinking. So there are some things you could do like that as just a card against certain deck. You know, though, I think it's a counter. I still kind of like this, right? Let's say I'm playing Gruul or something, or mono red. You're usually only worried about 1 or 2 cards, right? Some life gain thing, something that kills your biggest creature, you know, whatever. So if you counter that and then they get the next thing, like I'm willing to gamble on them not getting another creature kill spell. Or if they're playing, I don't know, Shatter the Sky, and you get rid of Shatter the Sky, like, you know, you're not going to do it with another one. Maybe they get something else that just gets rid of one thing, right? So yeah, I think this probably gets played. It's just really random. All right, Tor Ralph, God of Fury, 2 colorless, red, legendary creature, god, mythic, 5/4, trample. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, Tor Ralph deals damage equal to the excess to any target other than that permanent. Alright, that's kind of interesting. So if you shoot a 1/1 with a 4 mana burn spell, you would be able to deal 3 to something else. You just couldn't deal it to the same thing. Which kind of makes sense anyway, because you've already dealt excess, you wouldn't be able to hit that target anyway. So damage equal to the excess to any target other than that permanent. That is very strange how that's worded. I'm not sure. I'm trying to, like, I'm reading it again to try to make sure, but it's like equal to the excess to any target. Yeah, so if you killed it and there was excess, it wouldn't be there anyway. Sorry, anyway, that's just weird. But you could create some weird scenarios where maybe you end up killing 2 or 3 cards with 1 burn spell. You know, especially since people are playing Shatter Skull Smashing and things like that. Like, that's very possible that you could pull that off. This is a pretty sweet card. And it's a 5/4 with Trample for 4, which fits right into a lot of decks. I'd be totally on board with this. Matter of fact, we have a deck that was trying to take advantage of things having Trample, and this fits right in there. And not only that, like, oh, this fits perfectly in the deck we already have, because we were playing Terror of the Peaks, right? So you could have Terror, play this thing, Terror some, like, 1 or 2 toughness thing, the damage rolls over, you get to target something else. That's awesome, right? Okay, now I got it. I'm playing this card. This actually excites me a little bit. But it does have a backside. Let's see what that says. The backside is Tor Ralph's Hammer. Colorless, red. Equipment, artifact. Equipped creature has pay 1 and a red, tap it, unattach Tor Ralph's Hammer, deal 3 damage to any target. Return the hammer to its owner's hand. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 as long as it's legendary. Equip cost is 1 and a colorless. Or 1 colorless, 1 red. Okay, so this is actually pretty sweet, right? It's a cheap card. Cheap to equip. You get to give something +3 if it's legendary. That's awesome. If not, I guess it doesn't have any real ability. It's just a thing. But then you can unequip it and deal 3 damage. And then, of course, that works with the front side that you're doing non-combat damage. So the back side, okay. Front side, really good. But both sides are playable. I give this card a thumbs up. Oh my gosh, I feel like today's going to go on forever. There's so many cards today. But hey, it's Monday. They took a slow weekend. So this is, I'm going to read off this other page. I think I have a translation over here, but it is Carder. So we have Herald and Carder. Great. So Carder, Doom Scourge, legendary creature, Demon Berserker, uncommon. When Carder, Doom Scourge, enters the battlefield, until your next turn, creatures your opponent controls, create your opponent's control, attack each combat if able, and attack a player other than you if able. Whenever an attacking creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It's a 4/3 for 2 colorless, 1 black, 1 red. Alright, this card's fine. You know, it's if you're already playing a deck where you're going to drain your opponent, you know, you're trying to gain life while they lose life, like, this fits into that whole thing, so you go ahead and play it. It's a 4/3 for 4. That's all fine and good. It doesn't really do anything in a 60-card game, one-on-one, because your opponents have to attack somebody that's not you. But in a multiplayer game, this card's actually pretty interesting, right? Because everybody else on their turn has to attack. So that's going to move things along one way or the other and possibly open the door for you on your next turn. So not necessarily a standard card. There are some spots I could see where you could play it, but realistically, this is a multiplayer card. Here's another one that we have just a translation for, but it is Fall of the Imposter, colorless, white, green, enchantment saga, uncommon. Chapters 1 and 2 are put a +1/+1 counter up to 1 target creature. Chapter 3 is exile a creature with the greatest power among creatures target opponent controls. This is just solid. I don't think it's spectacular. I mean, if you're playing a +1/+1 counter deck, I'm not even sure if it has a home, because there's already so many things that can put counters on stuff. I don't know if you need to just waste 3 mana on an enchantment to do it. However, it does come with a removal clause attached to it, which might change things. But in general, I think it's just okay. I'm not sure this is going to make the cut for constructed play. Open the Omen Paths. 2 colorless, red, instant, choose 1, add 2 mana of any 1 color and 2 mana of any other color. Spend this mana only to cast creatures or enchantment spells. Creatures you control get +1/+0 till end of turn. Well, it's 3 mana to get 4 mana, so that's not bad. It gives you different color mana. That's not bad. You end up with 4 total, 2 and 2. You could play like Haktos on turn 3, which is appealing. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Maybe I'm trying to think of other things that cost 4 to just cover the mana that you'd want, that red and something. Outlaw's Merriment, you could do that on turn 3, also worthwhile. So yeah, this card probably gets some play. And then worst case scenario, if you're playing something that's hyper aggressive, maybe tokens or something of that nature, like you can give everything +1/+0. So that's not bad either in a pinch, even if you don't need the mana. Pretty versatile card. Does it have a home? Those sound like fun ideas. I don't know how that comes together, but I'm sure we'll try it at some point in the future anyway. Ooh, okay, Brood, I think we did it. I think that's everything for today. That was a lot to talk about. But I sort of expected that. Like I said, we knew Saturday and Sunday were slow, so Monday was going to be a big card drop from across the internet. But yeah, more really good stuff. More things to build around. I do like the fact that there's at least things that encourage you to play within a certain theme. And because in a way that forces out some of the other cards that we're kind of tired of seeing, like a lot of the Eldraine cards, you know what I'm saying? But realistically, this opens up the door a little bit, right? Because we're gonna be able to play things based around life drain, things around giants, elves, you know, legendary creatures or permanents, right? That's a thing. Snow stuff, that's a thing. So we're already seeing, or angels actually is another one, right? We're already seeing these things come together, and that opens up the way for the brewers to say like, hey, let's try some new things or some different things. Now, are they necessarily better than the value you're getting from adventure cards? I don't know yet. It's very possible though that in combination with each other, that they could be very powerful. So I think there's still a lot that remains to be seen. I think at this point we've seen somewhere around 30% of the rares or mythics. So we still have a little ways to go before we see everything. So there's still a lot to come, but it looks like a very exciting set. Also, don't forget, if you haven't, please like this video. Help me out, get it boosted, get in front of more people. But more importantly right now, please remember to hit that red subscribe button to help us reach 10,000 subscribers because we're closing in on 300, and it is so very close. And just for fun, if you want to, come over, hang out, chat with us over in the Discord. Links are down in the description below. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.